Welcome to the Born Celtic YouTube channel.
Celtic fans,
Please like, subscribe, and share, and give us a follow on Spotify to watch all our videos when you're on the go. Scottish football can call off the Celtic Park as Derek McInnes has raised his heat after losing the title to Celtic at Parkhead at the weekend.
Congratulations on winning the award.
What he said was extremely telling. Better wee man.
Award from the media and the writers in Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It's a real honour and a privilege when you see not only the nominees but the amount of good managers there is operating in Scotland just now. So these things are always, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that help you get these awards, but of course delighted to pick it up and thankful to the association for being their nominee.
You said it on stage, but you must feel an incredible amount of pride for these players, for the staff, for everybody around the club, for just this season and what's come of it.
Yeah, I think when we, in the cold light of day, when we look back, there's been so much positivity from where we were at the beginning of the season. You always start a season with hope and expectation, and I think we've exceeded all of that.
Exceeded all that. With Kate Derek a wee reality check, you went to Celtic Park with everything on the line, and Celtic blew you away to win the title. But instead of acknowledging the golfing class, instead of mentioning the team that actually sets the standard in this country, McInnes completely blanked Celtic. The Hearts bosses hitting a severe case of the cope here, and the point is, if you don't give Celtic any recognition, the gap doesn't look as massive, and here looks so bitter.
Enjoy our break, but be ready for the challenges ahead. I fully believe that those challenges are going to be met. You know, I think with the enthusiasm and from everybody at the club, the desire to improve and go on and try and be the norm for us, to be challenging and trying to kind of be competing for trophies on a more regular basis. I firmly believe that those expectations were met as we go on. So I think this season's gave us so much encouragement for us to reach 80 points, be involved in the Champions League qualifiers coming up in July.
Look at Edel flexing about 80 points and talking about Champions League qualifiers, but look at the total omission here. You're talking about entering Europe's elite competition, yet you can't even utter the name of Celtic, who just dominated you on their own patch to win the league. And it's brilliant. The media lets them get away with it, treating European qualification like his trophy, while ignoring the fact that they never laid a glove on the champions when it mattered the most.
Look back and enjoy it, but we're also have that kind of grievance at times and that disappointment to try and spur us on to something greater.
Superb. Talking about grievance, there is no grievance. You just won the good enough in your bottle punched. But the one to remember most for you is the complete and utter letdown in Celtic Park.
How much can you use that? The fact that obviously went to the final day, the final minutes, that's something you can build on and go, right, okay, we can use this to push us on next season.
Yeah, I can. I think you've got a good reference point there in terms of what can be done. And obviously it's your job now to try and put a squad together that helps us meet those challenges. There will be more expected of us next season, and rightly so. But I do think it will give us even more belief and confidence with what we're doing. I think the team's played with a real attitude to win this season, which really that's been demonstrated so often, and that pleases me no end. And
your team also dived, play acted, tried to get players sent half, tried to win penalties. Aye, used every trick in the book. Do you know what they reminded me of? Porto in the FA Cup final. They couldn't just do it by playing football, and it was evident in Celtic Park. And the amount of times their players lay rolling about the deck like a bunch of
A lot of people referring
fuds.
back to that Tony Bloom interview in the beginning of the season, within 10 years, going to be winning the league, almost happened within 10 months. But now do you look on and go, it's a 3-horse race now, and that's what it's like in Scotland?
yeah, I think it's the challenges for clubs out with the old firm is always to try and meet the expectations of your club, you know, and that's what we first set out to do at the start of the campaign. And you know, for a club like Hearts, there should be those expectations. That's why we want to work at Hearts, because there is that demand, and we wanted to try and make sure we qualify for Europe. And we're on similar budgets to your likes of Hibs and your Aberdeens. So it's important that hopefully we've given enough encouragement to so many other teams that what can be done. But
Oh, a wee Dale. The interviewer tries to hype Hearts up, asking if it's now a 3-horse race in Scotland. And what does McInnes do? He immediately shrinks back. He backtracks, starts talking about budgets. He compares Hearts to Kilmarnock, to Hibs and Aberdeen. The ultimate small club mentality, wrapped up in a Manager of the Year trophy. They love the media hype of being a threat to the top, but the second they're asked to back it up, they hide behind the bank balance. They want to praise a big club, but use the excuses of a small one. Superb.
I think if your whole club is operating well from top to bottom, and we've got that at the minute, we're not awash with money, and we have to use what we've got wisely. But I think what we have got is expertise, plenty of enthusiasm, and a real desire to drive the club on. So with all that in the mix, then we're hopeful and confident that we can keep progressing.
I'm sure Riedel was going to congratulate Celtic and Martin in every minute. Sure isn't it up his tongue? Let's see what he says in his wee closing statement here.
In Champions League qualifiers, European football, there's so many more good days ahead for Hearts fans in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, even saying that, I mean, it's feels brilliant just being involved in that, and we'll look forward to it when it comes round. It's important we have a rest in the summer, but we also need to be busy and try to kind of help the squad deal with those sort of games. And we'll be determined when the game comes round, the Champions League qualifier, to try and make the most of that. I mean, it's obviously a long way into the Champions League from where we are, but we're in it anyway, and we're in with a fight. So I think it'll be exciting for the club when that date comes round.
Derek. At a national awards ceremony right after the title had been decided, he stayed quiet for nearly 2 days, and the champions of Scotland don't even get a passing mention from the writers' manager of the year. That tells you everything you need to know about the Hearts' mentality running through the rest of the league. They are utterly terrified to look at the standard Celtic has set. They are playing for awards, Celtic play for titles. McInnes, you should have spoken about the Celtic. You should have spoken about Martin O'Neill. You should have at least given him a passing comment, but instead you just showed what we already knew. You're bitter. So let me know in the comments what you think of McInnes completely blanking the champions. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And remember, we are on Spotify, so you can watch our videos on the go, so give us a wee follow.